All right, going live now, but our bit rate's really, really low.
Looks good here.
Okay,
Let's give it a shot.
let's go.
All right.
We got sound.
Up next on Inside ChampCar, the Black Flag Enforcer. And welcome to Inside ChampCar. That good-looking guy up at the top is Bill Strong. Well, kind of good-looking. I'm Brian Bielanski. And the guy on the left, if you've been to a ChampCar race, you probably know what that guy looks like and who
Hey,
he
Jimmy,
is.
lean in a little bit more. There you go. That's the way you normally see him. Leaning in your window.
That's not very nice. Welcome,
Brian.
Jimmy. How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm doing good.
All right.
A man, a few words.
That's right. Jimmy's coming to us from the bustling metropolis of Raleigh, North Carolina.
Which looks like the Keys.
I know.
Or Hawaii or something.
That's right.
I've been to Raleigh, Jimmy. That's not what it looks like.
I'm sitting on Aruba.
Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, I'm gonna take.
They make medications for that, Jimmy.
I love it. I love it. So, Jimmy, we start these podcasts every time with the same question. Have you watched us before? I hope so.
Yep.
All right, good. So you know what's coming.
I do.
How did you get involved in this crazy sport that we love?
Mike Chiswick invited me to when it was ChampCar,
Okay.
and that's how I got started.
And what was your first experience with that? Were you working that event, or was it just to check it out? How was that?
Yep. No, I worked the first 24 hours race that I went to was at VIR, and about 3 o'clock in the morning, I just had laid down, and my wife come in there and said, "You need to get up. You need to get up. Mike's having to come to Jesus meet. He's never done one."
Wait, where was this at, Charlotte?
No, VIR.
VIR. I remember that one.
It's about 3 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I was sleeping for that one. My stint was done. I went to sleep and
Well, I was trying to sleep.
I heard about
my
it,
wife
though.
wouldn't let me.
So they didn't ease you in with like a 7-hour or a 14-hour. They threw you right into a 24, huh?
I think we all start like that, actually. It's,
Okay.
You know, there's a 24, have fun. Hey, you're the new guy. You get to work the overnight.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get invited, you go out there. You don't have to come back for a second one. There's I mean, I've been to ChampCar events. There's no guns put to people's heads to come back to a second one.
Nope.
And I'm sure they're not. I mean, I'm sure they're nice to you and all, but I'm sure they're not paying you buckets and buckets of money. So what brings you back for the second one?
I love racing, and the people are really nice, and we just get along, so I like it.
And you started out in 2020 or 2013?
Yes.
So that makes you the longest serving Champ member on staff.
Yeah. Since Andrea quit.
Yep.
I should have the applause soundtrack there. That's pretty awesome. So you've been around even longer than old man Bill here.
Oops.
He doesn't even have the right applause button here. He's just going to keep pressing buttons.
Them.
I know, you got to label them.
Yeah.
Billion and Black Flag.
I know.
Exactly.
I've never actually been in Black Flag.
I don't believe that for a second.
I was almost in Black Flag.
We're gonna ask you some questions later on, and I'm gonna prep you ahead of time.
All right.
But I one of the questions I'm going to ask you is to tell us a couple stories of the best excuses you've heard in Black Flag. Okay, because I'm sure you've got some. So think about that just a minute.
Okay.
So you said you liked racing. Did you do racing? Did you have were you a fan that went to races before you went to the 24, or were you just a fan that watched on TV?
No, we used to go to the Coca-Cola 600 every year.
Cool.
Every year, our company give us tickets to that, and we went to Daytona.
Got it.
Too cool.
Yeah,
Too
it's good
cool.
stuff.
Okay.
And you living in Raleigh, have you been there your whole life or in the area your whole life?
Yep.
So you have got some of the most amazing bull rings of short track racing anywhere in the country. You've got Bowman Gray nearby. North Wilkesboro was forever, and now it's coming back to do the All-Star race this year.
Yep.
If you like stock car racing, there's no better place in the world to live than where you are.
Yeah, we got Wake County Speedway also.
So Jimmie, rumor is that you were part of that liquor running thing back in the day.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, no, that would be my uncle.
Oh, we got to get your uncle on the podcast.
Well, unfortunately, he's passed away. So
Sad. That's
yeah.
how he disappears.
Exactly.
I watch those. I watch those shows.
So when you started with ChampCar, you didn't immediately start as the black flag guy, right? You did some other stuff, or they put you right in there?
No, probably shortly after I started doing black flag, and I've been doing it ever since.
Okay. So for those who don't know, who might be from other series or who just aren't familiar with racing that much, and if you've stumbled upon us, bless you, you're in for a treat or maybe a nightmare. Tell us what black flag is with ChampCar.
Black flag is when you get a penalty for contact, passing under yellow, speeding during the pink 35.
So basically, the way it works is the race director gets notified by the flagging people that, hey, something just happened on track. This car number 79 just went way too fast under code 35. And basically what he does is he makes a decision, black flag. And Jimmie says, what?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. And we say, black flag, we're sending you car 79, passing under yellow, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever.
Right. So
and they write it down. And then, or the better one is black flag, car 79 and that white biohazard, or sorry, car 179 and the white biohazard car just got together in turn 11. We're sending you biohazard. Find out what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Come in, looked like he hit a concrete truck.
Well, he did.
I mean, it was destroyed.
He hit the Opel GT.
Right.
Everybody knows that story. But yeah.
Yeah.
But that's basically what the black flag guy does. And then you basically poke your head through the window and say, what's up, man?
Yeah. So you are so the race director's kind of the principal.
Yep.
And you're the assistant principal. You're the guy who's got to put down the discipline, or at least have the hard discussion. And so whoever comes in, they come into pit lane, they have to stop at your black flag station, wherever it is for the weekend, and then you walk up to the window, and
most of them's learned if they're really nice, I'm nice.
Oh.
But if they ain't nice, then
because you get to decide how long they sit there, right?
oh yes.
Oh yes.
Because he tells me, he says 5 minutes, your discretion.
Oh,
So
I
if
like
they come
that.
in nice, then I can let them go a little early. But if they come in hot-headed and yelling and screaming, nah, you're gonna sit there the whole 5 minutes.
Well, the fun part too is that you don't actually start the penalty until you've heard an excuse or they've come down. So that's when you start the penalty.
Calm down. And
So they
Dana
sit there-
tell them in the driver's meeting that hey, Jimmie will listen to you talk all day long.
So what's the most number of cars you've had backed up waiting to talk to you?
Oh God. Indy, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, Indy was a big one. Where were we at? National Corvette Museum.
Oh yeah.
When they brought 5 cars in at one time.
Yeah.
Because normally they don't all come in as soon as they get the black flag. But on this race, all 5 came in at the exact same time.
Well, and that comes down to Flagtronics, because basically we just went through the list, posted all the black flags up, and
they all came in.
They all came in. They actually followed directions.
Yeah. The one time they shouldn't. Yeah. They did.
And, you know, we have an internal radio system that nobody else can listen into, and some of the words coming out of Jimmy's mouth with all these cars lined up on pit lane was hilarious. He's like, "Stop sending me cars."
That's funny. That's funny. So I said to you a few minutes ago, I gave you a little bit of warning. So give us some of the best excuses you've heard, because you've been doing this now for 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess hundreds of cars have come to visit you and be counseled by Dr. Jimmie.
The funniest one, I guess, is the guy. He was supposed to be a pro driver. He'd never been black flagged. Now, so well, congratulations, I give you your first black flag. So I told him, I said, "Look, you got a video proving that you didn't pass under yellow. We'll give you a lap back." So he comes in, he gets out of it. He says, I'm getting my camera and going upstairs. I'm like, okay.
In the middle of the race?
We go upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
He don't even look at the video or nothing. We go upstairs, and Dana tells him where it's at, and he pulls it up. And as he's coming around the corner, he says, "Now watch this. And the guy's waving the flag like crazy. And as he's passing the car, he just picks his laptop up and starts walking out the door. And I said, "Professional, huh?"
and you're very nice to leave the name out, by the way.
Yes.
I off air. It's just, by the way, it's just the 3 of us here. There's no one else watching, so you're fine. No, I'm just kidding. Off air though, you can tell me who it is. Did he start
if you guys have any questions for Jimmie? Post them up and I'll ask them.
Yeah. Did he start the conversation with, "Do you know who I am?" Don't you know who I am?
Oh my God, we've had that. We haven't had that.
So when we were at Road Atlanta, Mike said, "When this car comes in, cut his band off and tell him to come and see me."
Ooh.
I'm like, "Okay." So he comes in. I'm like, "Where's your band?" He goes, "Right here." I cut it off. I said, "Mike said to go upstairs." Well, he was livid. Couldn't find that. It was one of the board members.
Oh.
And Mike called down there. He goes, "Jimmie, you know who you just cut the band off of?" I'm like, "I really don't care, Mike. You said cut his band off. I cut his band off." So I guess that's, when they officially made me the black flag controller.
Yeah, he's got the nuts to do it. Let him do it.
Yeah, well, it's better. It's also good that you didn't know who it was, because you might have thought twice.
No.
I love it.
Do it.
I love it.
I don't care.
That's good. That's good.
Jimmie's like a 7'5" guy in a 5'10" body.
Yeah, because that was the same race that the guy, when he came in, he had to spend an hour in black flag.
Oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah. And
because
he looked at me, he said, "I will come out of this car and I will whoop you." And I looked at him and I said, "I promise you won't come out of that car." So he sit there for a minute. He goes, "You're right."
So was that?
I mean, they're pretty wound. I mean, you've got a lot of adrenaline. You got a lot of adrenaline sitting out on the track. If something just happened to you too, like you just touched bumpers with somebody else and you get black flag, but you've got so much adrenaline flowing through you. You're coming down. You're mad because I got black flag. You're taking away my 15th position, and or 90th position, and you roll in. This guy wants to yell at me, and of course, you have to yell because they've got earplugs in. Right. You've got race cars all around you. There's nothing quiet about a racetrack at pit in. So, yeah. So I mean, what do you do? Yell?
Yeah, you have to yell at them.
So I always tell people, like, when they get pulled over by CHP, just cry. It works for some people. Now, do you ever have anybody who comes to black flag who knows they've screwed up so badly that there's literally crocodile tears coming out when they lift up the visor when they get to you?
No.
Okay.
I did have one that was so mad that he wanted to cry, but it wasn't because he was in trouble. It's just because he kept messing up.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, what's your favorite track, Jimmy?
My favorite track. Ah. Probably VR.
Yeah. Cool.
Good little track.
Close to
Yeah,
home.
local.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where you started too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I started, and also.
So what does your weekend start out with? So basically, I know that tomorrow we're leaving for the Ozarks.
Well, I spent all day today getting everything ready, getting the truck packed, making sure the air and the tires are good, the oil's good, making sure I've got everything. And then in the morning, I will leave at 6 o'clock and run about 10 hours, get a hotel room, and then finish going up on Thursday. Put up Flagtronics, which that is a blessing now to put up Flagtronics today ahead of time. And then Friday, we just, check cars and make sure Flagtronics is working. And
yeah, the fun part about Ozarks is not only do we have to set up Flagtronics, and it's a really big track with a lot of positions.
18.
Yeah, so we have to put up 18 units, which is the big signs and the set up the tower, set up the track director in the tower.
Four transponders.
The big broadcasters. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but we also have to run a
pit loop.
Yeah, the pit loop. So we have to run a loop under the track.
Well, no, the loop under the track should be there.
Oh yeah, because we
ran that last time, but we will have to put one down. And I went today and bought 3 rolls of wide duct tape.
Cool.
And hopefully
Gorilla tape
before we get there, because that's what happened last time. It rained and it got wet before we could put it down, and it wouldn't stick.
Yeah. So we have to put down a pit loop, and we got to do So basically, you unload the truck. All the stuff that goes to registration goes to registration. Swag goes to registration or swag where we're doing that stuff. Timing and scoring goes up to the tower. And then you have all the stuff that you take over for the tech guys and all their measuring equipment and stuff.
So I'm curious because we're probably going to get inside baseball here. But so how do you put a loop under the track? Do you guys bore a hole under the track? How does that work?
Well, Jimmy has a spoon.
They had it was pretty neat because they had a rope running from one side to the other side.
And a piece of conduit?
Yeah.
Okay.
And me and Andy sitting there pulling. Well, then this other guy shows up.
Well, weren't they on each side? You guys were pulling against each other?
Well, no. We were on the back side of the building.
Yeah.
And to come find out, it was the owner of Ozark. And we had no clue it was him. And he's out there pulling just like we are.
Oh yeah. And he's just he's a regular guy in shorts
he's a real neat guy.
So they have the regular conduit there. It's a brand new track, so that really helped. We get to some of these tracks where it has conduit, but the rope has been pulled or chewed through by whatever animal 6 years ago. But yeah, so when Jimmy's setting that up, I'll be setting up the cameras. Paulie and I and Tiffany will be running a show this weekend for you guys. Just because we got to ask that question. Are we having a broadcast this weekend? Yes, we are.
Nice.
Now, Jimmy, so the race goes on. You play Black Flag during the day. You might get a lunch break, but if not, you just eat out there. Now, checkered flag falls. What do you do?
We make sure we get all the handhelds for Flagtronics turned off, and usually they'll last all weekend. So as long as they put the track into sleep mode, the batteries last all weekend. So
right.
We just have to do impound, and
then we go out and party like it's never going to end. though the ChampCar party is always going back to the hotel and sleeping.
Yeah, I was going to say here it's hour and 10 minutes back to the hotel.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep, it's a long way to go.
Yeah,
but the nicest hotel we stay at though. So it's
yes,
pretty
it
nice.
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we go back to, then the next morning we get up bright and early again and we start the day all over again. Now at the end of the day, you've got to go through everything, and it's being the guy that brings an absolute ton of media stuff. I know what it's like to sit there and kind of repack everything. You just can't throw it all back in and go for it. No.
Yeah. At Daytona, so we have what they call a track map, and it got brought back to the main building, and it got thrown in a box with the decals and the shirt.
Yeah.
So I had to tear the van apart, all the boxes, and I said, well, let me look in this box and see. And sure enough, it was in that box. How it got put in that box, I have no idea.
So
yeah,
if you ever watch a college football game, like a big rivalry game, let's say Florida State, at the end of the game, when the final buzzer blows, especially if it was a close game, you always see the referees being escorted off by like state troopers. So do you have to have protection after the race for anyone who's going to come after you because you were the guy who had to dole out the punishment?
No.
Are you really Jimmie Letchworth? This is not witness protection, Jimmie Letchworth. This is the real, honest to God, in the flesh and blood, Jimmie Letchworth.
Yep.
Okay.
This is me.
Yeah, and he can handle himself, man. This guy's been around the block a few times.
I'm sure. So
and plus,
never leave home without it.
Yeah. And the great thing about Jimmie is all these guys are screaming and yelling at him, but they're still buckled into their cars,
right,
with window nets and everything,
and helmets.
And you I don't want to say the guys are like, me, my older, bigger age, but some of these guys are fit, but still getting out of the windows of these cars, it's not easy and quick. So, and Jimmie's pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
So what's the craziest thing you've seen come down pit lane at you?
It would probably be the, what's the car? It was on fire.
Yeah, fire's bad.
Yeah. They were driving the MR to it at the
it's always an MR2 Bill.
National Corvette Museum.
Yeah. Oh, the Cone Crushers.
Yeah, Cone Crushers.
Or the Porsche. Yeah.
Yeah, the fuel line had messed up, and he came in. He was trying to get out, trying to get the car stopped. We're trying to put the fire out. It was crazy.
Did he turn off the fuel pump? Because that helps.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they're all mechanics, so they know better.
Yeah. They pulled it, and they even pulled their thing, but it wasn't enough to put out the fire, so we still had to fight the fire.
So being a
Didn't
mechanic,
you guys have to fight? Didn't you guys fight the fire on my Opel during the red flag?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a different story.
So being a mechanic and knowing better sometimes means absolutely nothing when your car is on fire.
True.
Because you know exactly what you're supposed to do. You know exactly where the button is to turn off the battery and the fuel pump. But the fact you have to actually divorce your brain from the fact that your car is burning to the ground to be able to think to do that. So I've seen some of the smartest people in the world do the dumbest things in the heat of the moment.
Oh, well, we had one at Sebring, so they were having problems with their fuel pump, so they bypassed their kill switch.
Oh yeah.
And so when the car caught on fire, they put the kill switch on, but the car kept burning because they had bypassed the kill switch.
The whole purpose of the kill switch,
it
people,
just kept pumping gas,
is to turn off the fuel pump. By the way, # don't do that.
Yeah.
Well, they burnt the car up doing it. So
yeah, and one of the sometimes in the heat of the moment, you're trying to get your drivers out on track. You're whatever you do some dumb things.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you learn from them, hopefully.
Yeah, I bet you Frank loved that.
Yeah, Ray Frank.
Ray Frank, I'm sorry. Yeah, I bet you Ray loved that. Good. All right. What else you got for us, Bill?
That's about it for Jimmy. He's got to get out. He's got to get his beauty sleep. We're both leaving in the morning at about 6 a.m. and headed west, young man.
Clearly, his beauty sleep works better than your beauty sleep.
Yes,
Bill.
it does. Yes, it does. He is a lot younger than me, though. So.
Oh well, that helps.
And I am, and folks, for those that we will record this, we'll put subtitles under Jimmy's name.
We will not be doing that.
For you, okay?
We will not be doing that.
I'm kidding, Jimmy. You know that. You know I love you, man.
Don't worry, I'm gonna shoot you.
You know where I live.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I do.
Yeah. Did you hear Banjo's coming out here again? Yeah, he came out here this weekend.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go to break before we get into trouble here.
Yeah.
Jimmie Letchworth, he is the longest standing
Letchworth.
Sorry.
Yep.
The longest standing ChampCar employee, Black Flag enforcer. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Yep.
When we come back, I guess we're going to talk about Ozarks and
we'll
all the stuff that
whatever.
we need to do there and know there. We'll let we come back. Stay with us inside ChampCar right now on ChampCar Live. Don't go anywhere.
Every race weekend, you don't know what's going to happen. But with ChampCar Live, all the action comes. Is North America's home to real competitive endurance road racing. And ChampCar.live brings you live, full race coverage with in-car, trackside cameras, interviews, and expert commentary. And ChampCar.live brings you live, full race coverage with in-car and trackside cameras, interviews, and expert commentary. Check out ChampCar.live on the web, subscribe, and ring the bell so as not to miss a single minute of the action. It's fun, free, informative, and it's just a click away. ChampCar.live. Come check us out. We bring you a front row seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Hey, that worked.
Yeah, welcome back. ChampCar Live. I'm Brian Bielanski. He is Bill Strong. So for those of you who are watching tonight, you'll see this looks a little different than we usually do. We're still we've been beta testing this for a month and a half or so, and
some of you may have seen it yesterday.
That's true. That's true.
Oops.
We don't have all of the kinks worked out, but we have a lot of the kinks worked out. And it's just going to
You can see us and you can hear us, so that's the most important
true.
part. And Brian, you've been kicking ass on this, so thank you very much.
I'm working at it. For those of you who are of advanced age like me, who may not be, a technically genius like my 17-year-old, teaching yourself all this stuff it takes some time and some effort. This is not my full-time job, although I'd like it to be, Bill. But I'm having a ton of fun, learning a lot. Every week we're going to do science of shutting up and don't ask me for a job. Is that what that's called? It's the science of don't ask me for a job.
That's it.
Okay.
Ooh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Anyway, I'm having fun, and every week we'll have this will look a little bit better, and this is going to be a lot of fun. This new system, Bill, it's going to have some doodads that are going to bring a lot of value. So
right. And Kyle says I need to up my broadcast room, but you guys have to know I live in a little tiny house in the middle of Virginia, built in the 1950s. I don't have a lot of places to go to here.
Okay, so Bill, I'm in a 10-foot by 12-foot spare bedroom.
Yeah, I'm in my office.
Right, this is my office.
Yeah, so my office. So I have work I have to do during the day, which is ChampCar related. So this is what you get. I mean, I can do, I can do up I can do something like that, but no, I have a desk, 3 desks.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, I this is what I'm,
I know, and you've done really well, Brian. I really appreciate that. I thought about doing it, but
yeah,
we have, ChampCar Live I've got to do. We got this. I've got, my regular job, which is this.
I actually like it, honestly.
I'm making excuses. I'm sorry.
You've made a working office look good enough to do television. So,
oh my God, you should have seen it beforehand. Well,
I know.
you have seen it.
I have
Yeah.
seen it beforehand.
Yeah.
The first
Stacks
year of
of
this, we
stuff.
didn't do this on camera, so there
No.
was no. I didn't have to look at, or Bill didn't have to have it pretty. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, it was not pretty.
It was not pretty.
But it looks great.
and then, you know, if I could have got rid of my big printer there, I would, but I need my big printer, and I need it there because I've only got like 15 foot of cable for it. So, yeah.
All right, Ozarks coming up this weekend,
Is it?
isn't it?
I
Yeah.
believe it is. Yes, it is.
We're going to be about 100 miles apart at different racetracks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're going to be at Hallett.
I am.
We go to Hallett after.
Yeah.
So we swap.
So tell us about Ozarks.
So leaving tomorrow morning, headed to Ozarks. I think Jimmy and I are both stopping in St. Louis, on the other side of St. Louis somewhere. So that's where the party will be.
So do you guys ride out
then
together?
No,
Okay.
we're going separate. He has his truck. I got my little car packed up to the hilt with everything I need. I'm trying to save gas for the company, so I drive my personal little tiny car instead of the big V10 powered Excursion. I'd love to drive that, but it would cost us thousands upon thousands of dollars just to get out of Virginia. So saving the club some money.
That's just what it costs to get to the end of the driveway.
Yeah, pretty much just started up. Oh, there's $10. So yeah, we're headed out, and we should arrive there Thursday, like Jimmy said. Thursday afternoon, around noon, and Chelsea's given us a bunch of orders, and supposedly it's going to be cold, so I had to find places to put cold weather gear. That kind of surprised me. I thought it was going to be warm out there.
Yeah.
So I didn't believe her at first till I looked at the internet, and you know everything on the internet's correct.
Of
So
course.
kind of did that, yeah. And sure enough, it's going to be cold, 30 down in the 30s overnight and 50s in the day. So yeah, we got a big race going on. 2 8-hour races. Let me make sure before I spread falseness. Yes, 2 8 hours. You have a test on Friday, then 2 8-hour races Saturday and Sunday. The Lake of the Ozarks Grand Prix. Paulie, Tiffany, and I will be doing our regular ChampCar.live show. Coverage starts at 9, a little about 15 minutes before 9, 8:45 or so. So check us out on ChampCar.live. They have some good camera positions, as we do at Ozarks all the time. They've done their track a little differently now. Supposedly turn 1's been fixed or changed.
Changed.
Changed. You don't want to say fixed because
Right.
that assumes that there was a problem. I guess there may have been for some cars, but most of it. And Turtle wants, or Tim Elliott wants a camera in his car. Tim, you always get a camera. Stop begging, man. He always gets a camera. He gives us a good little show with that little golf.
Exactly.
Or a rabbit, or whatever it is. What is it, rabbit? I think it's a rabbit.
Yeah.
So,
It's
yeah.
Farfignugan.
Or yeah, I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
So, Test and Tunes going on. Please look at the supplementals. Lots of information on there. I did do some updates to the Watkins Glen
Okay.
supplementals today, and that's coming up at the end of May. We had some typos for the times on the test days, so take a look at that if you're going to Watkins Glen. Doesn't look like too many people have signed up for that one. Only 107.
Okay. For Watkins Glen?
Yeah, Watkins Glen. So
you guys
that's a little.
You're underachieving there.
I don't know, man. You know, the last race we did was like 240 or something, and these little events with 107 cars. I don't know.
I know.
don't know how we can survive.
I don't either, man. I don't either. So.
27 cars signed up for Lake of the Ozarks Grand Prix. 901 Motorsports is there with 2 cars. 2 idiots in a Sheboygan garage, or a garage Sheboygan Auto Helpers is there.
Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
Yeah, Sheboygan. Yep.
Home of the best bratwursts.
Yep.
I would.
Yeah,
know.
they are pretty good up there.
Yes, they are.
And then Auto Spec, and then Cone Crushers is there with the MR2 again. I don't get this, but I need to get them the MR2 patches because they're driving an MR2. Thank you for reminding me, Brian.
I'm happy that I could help.
Yeah. Dallas Makerspace will be there. Fox Shoddy Racing. Good, Bad, and the Ugly. I have no clue who that is. The number 11 car. It's a Chevy Chevette.
With a really big motor.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a meme the other day. You know, the one where the girl's like yelling and the cat says something. And,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, she's like, you told me it was a Corvette. And it's a Chevette.
I told you it was a vet.
Yeah. Yeah. And GTR Racing's there. Gulp Racing, Hill House Racing, Killer Bassa Racing with their Nissan 350Z. Looney
Killer
Tunes is there
Bassa?
with their Killer Bassa.
That might be my new. It's not as good as Freddie Mercury, but Killer Bassa for a Polish boy.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I gotta find out the story behind that. Ask
And
him
then
when you talk to them. Ask them if they have a mechanic named Kapusta.
Well, there's two EC cars there: a Honda S2000 and a Ford Mustang, and a Nissan 350Z. Which do you think will win? So whoever will win that race will be on podium.
What are my choices?
350Z, Nissan, or a Honda S2000.
Well, I gotta go with the Honda because I'm a Honda guy. I'm going with my heart.
Okay.
Which means nothing. which means I just ruined the Honda's whole weekend.
Looney Tunes is there with their Mustang. They're locals out there. Love Racing. Well, they're Oklahoma, Texas.
Right.
Looney Tunes is there. Love Racing is there. Actually, Love Racing does really, really well in our series. So they might be, with their A-Class Miata, they might be up maximum or minimum talent. I don't know, man. With their Mini Cooper, that might be a minimum talent. I like that.
Yeah.
Off the Chain Racing, Open Throttle with their two cars, Kermit and Frankenstein. R5 Racing LLC. Oh, that's just a little too official. Poopy Box Racing. Starts with an S. I don't want to say shit. Silver Martini Racing. See, that's the kind of name we would put up for Doc to say back in the day. Because he wouldn't proofread anything. He would just say what he...
Yeah, what it says.
It was really
just read
funny.
it.
You can put all kinds of stuff up there.
Just reading what's on the screen.
Yeah. And the follow-on mission is there with their Chevrolet Malibu Classic. Not the Malibu regular, but the Malibu Classic. Touchstone Racing and their Mazda Miata. Utter Chaos. Williams Racing Group. I don't know if that's Claire Williams, do you think?
Nah, probably not.
Always had the hots for her. WLR and their Porsche Boxster. So it's going to be fun, man. Lots of cars. And then we come home a couple of days, couple of weeks. Then May 20th, we head back out to Oklahoma.
Okay.
Jimmy and I will be driving out together for that one.
Okay.
And we got Howlett, where you're going to be next weekend with the SCCA.
Yeah, sounds good.
Is that being streamed live on the internet?
Yeah, it better be, because if not, I'm making a trip to Hallett for no reason. Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, that's the plan.
Okay. Yeah, but you want to watch ChampCar live. If you have two TVs and you put, we're going to have the Flagtronics on one of your TVs. Then you get a third one for,
That's fine.
the SCCA race.
Put it on your iPad.
I know. My show, man.
You brought it up. You're driving the bus here. I wasn't going to talk about it at all.
Oh, no, I don't care talking about the SCCA.
Man.
They're good guys.
Yeah, no, it's...
But you never know when you're going to need a job one day,
Oh, I you just don't know. It's funny because I got a lot of people. I put up. You posted something about Flagtronics, and I reposted it to one of the SCCA forums, and of course, lots of people had opinions, and varying, of course. But a lot of folks on the SCCA forums like, yeah, I've used this in ChampCar. So we're all living in a wonderful.
Trans Am uses it. So.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's a bunch of other series looking at it as well. So it's not going to be one of these, well, ChampCar's the only one using it. There's a lot of big guns looking at it, including a really, 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 really big. Yeah, it's a really cool system that works.
Yep. And
if it just works, why not use it?
Yeah. There you go.
So, yeah, it's going to be pretty epic out there, Tim, at the Ozarks. And, hopefully everybody stays safe getting out there. Last year we had a few cars that kind of had some issues and getting there.
Yeah.
Not only on the track, but weather should be okay. Might be a little rain on Friday, so don't use up your car on Friday. So if you guys have, I'm looking for guests for this show. If you haven't been on here before, please pop me an email.
Sure.
Bill@champcar.org or Bill Strong at... Sorry.
Yeah. Give them the right address.
Yes. I don't even know what the hell my address is. Media@champcar.org is the easiest one to get to. So, just pop me an email, send me a text on Facebook, wherever. I mean, everybody knows how to get a hold of me. So, we'd love to have you on the show here. Got some good stories, things to tell. I'm kind of looking for people that have some cool little stories about trailering their cars. You know, those late night 2 a.m. I don't know why I'm in this farm field, but at least my trailer's still behind me. Car might not be on it, but you know, those kind of stories.
You know, I think, Bill, you think that other people have the same trailering problems that you do.
You want to hear mine?
No.
I don't know if I've told this. I don't think I have on this show. So when I was still racing, we were building a second car, which is straight below me right now. Toyota MR2, took it up to Pennsylvania, put a cage in it. It starts snowing for some odd reason. Who knew it would, snow in November in Pennsylvania? And it is so cold. We get the car out of the shop. We done putting the cage in, and we load it up onto the trailer. I tie everything down with the ratcheting straps, and I head out. I get down to, I stop for fuel somewhere and in Pennsylvania, and I kind of checked it, and everything seemed tight. And I get down to Virginia where it was like 70 degrees, and I guess those tight tie-down straps, most of them were not attached to the car anymore. In fact, none of them were attached to the car.
Wow.
They were frozen, and they stretched when they thawed out, and everything just popped off the car. Now, I had this big 6x6 that I would stick behind the tire. That's the only thing that kept my car on the trailer. Now, mind you, I'm on Interstate 81 doing 70, 75 miles an hour with an untied down trailer. I heard a noise, and basically it was hitting the front of my open trailer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, scariest. You're sitting on the side of the highway going, what the hell? What the hell? What am I going to do? How am I going to, Luckily, there was, I had thrown some tie downs into the car, and then I had a couple of spare ones in my truck. So, yeah, that was the scariest moment ever. And I know Troy had one too, where we used to laugh at him. He would have these little, those little 1-inch,
yeah,
he would tie down his race car with that on his open trailer with those. And we kept laughing at, dude, something's going to happen. And sure enough, he had to hit his brakes really hard one time. And that's back when he towed with a van, and his race car ended up in the back of his van. So, yeah,
laugh.
Told you, man.
Yeah,
I
haven't had any huge problems with a trailer, but I did lose. I was coming back from a triathlon, and the bike was not as attached to the bike rack as I thought, and I felt some weird little bouncing, and then I look in the rearview mirror, and there was the bike bouncing on the freeway behind me, and I swapped exits, came around, and I have this is in LA. I have no idea how that bike didn't get hit by another car. Circled back around, got off the exit, did the whole cloverleaf thing, got off on pulled on the side of the road on an LA freeway. It was a Sunday, mind you, so maybe a little less traffic. Waited for a hole in traffic, ran out, got the bike, and it was relatively straight. The only thing I bent was a wheel. And not one of my prouder moments, but we've all got stories.
Yeah. And they're talking about, changing 5 tires on one trip on the same wheel, same axle.
That sounds like a wheel bearing that was not working. Heating up the beads.
Something.
Yeah, something.
5 times, yeah. And it's
good.
Ed from Infinity.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah. And,
all right. Anything else before we head
done?
out? I think we're done.
This is a short show, man.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah, we have to go.
I mean, we can just sit here and look at each other for 15 minutes.
Yeah, let's talk about racing. These guys are sitting here. We've got 242 concurrent viewers. So
really?
No, 15.
Okay. I was going to say, wow. I'm gonna take that one to the bank. All right, man. Yeah. Let's get this one done. We'll come back and do it again next week. We'll both be road weary when we get back from our respective events, but we'll do it again on Tuesday.
Yeah, I should be back on Monday. We'll have the interviews to play, of course, and then
I got to learn how to do that, I guess, between now and next week, right?
Yeah, you got to figure out how to do that. I mean, it's not. I mean, I can run it here too if needed. So, but the big thing is, I need some guests, somebody we haven't had on the show. So, you guys listening out there, let me know.
If you nominate someone, because everyone never wants to do it themselves, but tell us who we should get, and then we'll bug them.
Well, we haven't had Kyle Fegley on here. Yeah. He's on.
There you go.
That would be kind of cool. And then we've had Ed on here, right?
I think
we had Ed on the show?
I'll have to go back and look. I'm hoping you're keeping a list, because I'm not.
No, I just look online. I go through and like, especially when they pop up, it's like, he's been on here before, hasn't he? And I go through and said, yeah, Dana Morrison. Yeah, he has been on here.
I love it. I love it. All right, my friend.
All right, man.
Have a good one. All right, that's going to do it for another episode of Inside Champ Car. If you like what you heard, subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any episodes. It would also be great if you share it on your social media channels. You can comment on the Champ Car Facebook page, especially if it's a good one. Bad comments, go to Bill Strong's page. New episodes every week, live on Tuesday nights, and then the replay hits the podcast network on Thursday mornings. He is Bill Strong. I'm Brian Bielanski. You're listening to the Racing Wire Podcast Network and Champ Car Live. Have yourselves a great